Eastern Conference, it should be the Chicago Bulls. The acquisition of Pau Gasol was a huge, huge pickup for them, and we're always assuming that Derrick Rose is going to be healthy. In other words, when we make a prediction about Chicago on the positive side, it's
Are you assuming that?
That's what I'm saying. I'm assuming, because if Derrick Rose is not healthy, no, the Chicago Bulls are going home first round. I mean, that's just the way it's going to be. All right, without Derrick Rose, they don't go far. With Derrick Rose, they're the team in the Eastern Conference. All right, number 2 on that list, I would put still the Indiana Pacers. But let me say this. It's because of their defense. I want to take a moment, Skip, if you don't mind, Lance Stevenson. Look, 5 years, $44 million. His talent is worth more than the Indiana Pacers are offering him.
I agree.
But you have to accept accountability for how you diminished your own value by the way you elected to conduct yourself in the playoffs. That's the reality here. If Lance Stevenson hadn't been deemed a distraction and a head case, and I thought some of it was overblown and incredibly unfair to him, by the way, but some of it he brought on himself. The fact that you did that, entering a contract year, knowing that these kind of things could be counted against you, but you still elected to display your behavior that way, that's what's costing you money. That's not the Indiana Pacers' fault, who brought you into this league, who've taken care of you, who've facilitated your maturation. Granted, you are worth a little bit more, but this is the way it goes. Do the 5-year deal, opt out after 3, put yourself in a position where you can continue to grow and prove yourself, but take the money and stay in Indiana because y'all have something good there. I look at the Cleveland Cavaliers at 3, possibly with the potential to move up to 2, depending on how Indiana acts, because we saw how they fell apart. I put Washington above Miami because I think losing the way that they did in the second round to Indiana, all 3 games at home in the semifinals, you lost. I thought reacquiring Martin Gortat was a big help. I did think losing Trevor Ariza wasn't great, but Paul Pierce is a closer, and I like that move. And so if you've got Paul Pierce in that lineup, you retained Gortat, you still have Nene with Beal, with John Wall. I like Washington.
Pretty good.
And I think, listen, and I want to make sure that I'm clear, because I know I came across as hard towards Chris Bosh. I respect the heck out of Chris Bosh. He can play. If you're a scrub, I'd be allergic to you, and I'd call you a scrub. Chris Bosh is no scrub. Chris Bosh can play. But at the same time, I saw a dude that was relatively held in check by a 38-year-old Tim Duncan in the NBA Finals. Now, that doesn't mean that Chris Bosh wasn't worth the 4-year, $88 million deal Houston gave him, because he is. And I thought he would have been great. But $118 million, $30 million above what Houston was offering him. Chris Bosh needs to take his agent, Henry Thomas. You need to cook Thanksgiving dinner for him. You need to go Christmas shopping for him. You need to carry his bags. You need to sit there. You need to treat him and his wife to a luxurious vacation. You need to give Henry Thomas whatever he wants. The man got you $30 million extra. And by the way, he also needs to do that for LeBron. Because LeBron's departure got Chris Bosh the $30 million.
He was the big winner.
There is no reason why Pat Riley had to give him that much money. I'm sorry. Not $118 million. Chris Bosh, maybe $95, $96 million. But $118 million? Nah, man. So to me, it's Chicago. It's Indiana, Cleveland, flexible at that 2-3 spot with Washington. And then Miami and the Knicks are right there. That's how I look at the Eastern Conference.
And how I look at it is there is no way that the new Cleveland Cavaliers should be a prohibitive favorite. I'm sorry, I can't see it. I can't see it. You got prohibitive in odds. And yet I'm looking at a team that went 33-49, then had to jettison, obviously, Luol Deng and Jared Jack and C.J. Miles. And I can go on. There are a cast of seem like thousands who had to leave to clear this cap space for the max for LeBron James. So they were 33-49. They're raw. They're green. They've got some talent. Obviously, Kyrie is talented. I think Andrew Wiggins is going to have a hard time for his first year. So you're telling me just that alone, that the king will walk on the court, snap his fingers, and you're a prohibitive favorite? Really?
Well, listen. You are absolutely right in terms of prohibitive favorite. But outside of that, you got to give credit where credit is due. you can't go by a series to measure what a team can mean in a regular season. LeBron James, over the course of 82 games, can make you an elite team. That's a fact. Now, in a particular series where there's a matchup nightmare for his team, then exposure can kick in for him and his team, and they could lose, as we saw in the NBA Finals. But outside of that, let's be clear here. LeBron James, over the course of 82 games, can take a team that's 33 and 59 and make them 49 and 33, or make them 53 and, 29 or whatever. I mean, 20. He can do that. LeBron has that capability. So for me, I look at that, and the way Indiana fell apart in the playoffs for a few games anyway. All right, Atlanta should not have gone 7 games. Washington should not have beat you twice on your home court, including by 30, all right, on your home court in the Game 5. No, I think that LeBron could easily elevate to Cleveland to one of the top 2 teams in the Eastern Conference, just not number 1.
Here's my bottom line to this. LeBron's departure to go home just made the East as wide open as it has ever been. And I agree with all your points about Bulls and Pacers and Wizards. I agree with all those points. Here's the team that's being laughably underrated by the odds makers, LeBron's old team, the Heat. There are certain people, again, I do not bet against, and one of them is Dwayne Wade. And I'm here to tell you, I can't say this strongly enough, this will be the best thing that could have happened to Dwayne Wade at age 32, which is not too old in this league. And I know he's got the creaky knees, and he got maybe a little heavy last year. Watch what happens now that LeBron's gone. This will return to being Dwayne Wade's team. He will go from taking a back seat to LeBron to being back at the wheel of this team.